Hello everyone, I'm going to be sharing the biggest chess mistake that I see all the time in endgames, which is just simply failing to convert when you have a clear advantage. Here material is equal, the position looks very drawish and looks very equal, but there's one simple move that you need to play that will allow you to win the game off the bat, and a lot of players just won't catch it and will play a different move, which is completely losing, and it won't work. So first, I'll give you a second to think about what you can do, and hopefully you guys can figure it out and understand that this is the only move that you have. Otherwise, you'll lose. But I'll be honest, it is a little tricky because again, this looks very drawish or losing, and it looks like Black's king can get into the action a lot faster than your king can. So if you were to play a move like this, Black would counter with this, and you could walk to your pawns, but it would be pretty sad because you're just gonna see your pawns getting demolished one by one, and it's pretty sad. So you need to understand that you cannot try to go ahead and march down and save your pawns, because that will not work. And instead, hopefully you recognize this very nice idea. And this is, by the way, just one simple endgame. If you want other endgame patterns, then let me know, because this is one very common one where you have three pawns facing three pawns, and your kings are kind of out of the question. And when your pawns are closer to promoting than your opponent's pawns, then you have to play this move here, because first of all, obviously, if your opponent decides to either play a6 or decides to play c6, then you can capture the other pawn. So if c6, you capture the a pawn. If a6, you capture the c pawn. And so your opponent kind of has to capture, but again, it's not a good move, because if your opponent, for example, let's start with this one. If your opponent decides to capture from c7, capturing on b6, then you simply go ahead, and this is where the tricky move comes in. Instead of capturing back, which is kind of the initial thought, because then you'll just see this idea, and again, the Black king can access this location much quicker, so you're gonna lose. So instead, you're gonna have to make sure that you play this move here. And what it does is it questions this pawn here, which is defending the square that you want to push the pawn. So if your opponent were to ignore this and just maybe capture the pawn, then you can capture and promote. So your opponent has to capture, now you can push the pawn forward. So you're actually sacrificing two of your pawns to be able to promote your third one, which is a really special idea. And obviously in this race, you're going to be much faster, and you're going to win. Let's look at the other option. It's pretty symmetrical and straightforward. If your opponent captures with this pawn, you go ahead and instead play this move, making sure that you're trying to challenge this defender here. And if your opponent captures, which your opponent kind of has to, again, this race you'll gladly take, as you will easily win. So this is one very important pattern you need to know, but there are hundreds of them. So if you want more, let me know. Additionally, if this one mistake isn't enough for you, and you want you want to learn more mistakes that I see a lot of beginners making, then press the little video that's popping up in the bottom of the screen right now. Press that video to see more chess mistakes, 5 more chess mistakes specifically that a lot of players make, and how to avoid them. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Chess Geek if you want more videos like this, and I'll see you guys next time.